Hello, and welcome to Myst 3 Exile. Real quick before anything else begins, I do not own any of the rights to the music. All the music rights go straight to Cyan, Jackwall, and Ubisoft, as well as possibly Presto, though I don't know. That's out of the way. The music's very nice. I want to keep it in. It gives atmosphere to the game. I don't want to take it away. So I'm going to leave it in and hopefully not get a copyright strike. So this is my favorite game, honestly. Out of any of the Myst games, this is my favorite. Anyway, welcome back and Merry Christmas, a day late. I didn't want to stream yesterday because I was kind of tied up with family and stuff. It's Christmas. Also, I need to turn my mic down a little bit because it is peaking every once in a while, so I'm turning it down. But, yes, we're back. All my presents are here. I'm very happy. I got my second desk, which means I have my second monitor up. I can watch the time. I can see chat. I can see everything that's going on. I can manage everything, and it's all happy now. I've also got a new chair, and it's a very nice chair. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a very, very nice chair, and I am very happy with it. So without further ado, we're going to start Myst 3 Exile.
I realized as our group linked back to Dunny that we should not restore the city as we had planned. The once magnificent buildings lay in ruin, testament to the hatred that had consumed them. Too many people had fallen victim to that hate, to the prejudice and greed from which it sprang. Gazing out across the cavern, I decided to write another age, one that would help the Dunny survivors begin again, free from the tragedies of their past. So with my wife, Catherine, supporting me, I put aside that past to write a future. More than a year has gone by since I finished writing Lishan. I have a new daughter, who I hope will someday link to the age with me. And as I imagine Yisha meeting the Dunny, those brave men and women who are building a new life for themselves, I realize I've been given another chance as well. A chance to learn from my mistakes and leave the past behind me once and for all.
Breathtaking, isn't it?
We
call it Tamana. We moved here after Atreus finished writing Relishan. He wanted us to have a new home too.
Little baby.
I'm so glad to see you. I told Atreus our paths would cross again. He was just going to grab something for your trip to Relishan, so he shouldn't be terribly long. Unless he decides to check over the whole house first, which means he could be hours resetting all his padlocks. But I know he was looking forward to introducing you to the Dunny, so he shouldn't be terribly long. Why don't you wait in his study?
Yep. This is the place. Also, I find it strange that there's a higher resolution to the sides than there is in the middle. Yep. It's quite nice. I think he made Timon in the likeness of the New Mexican desert on purpose because that's where he grew up. So that would make sense for him to do that.
You know, this trip is exactly what Atreus needs right now. I haven't been able to get him out of the house for months, ever since he found his journals out of place. But seeing how well the Dunny have settled in on Relishan should help him to finally relax.
I would love to live here. This place is amazing.
I'm sorry, the other door.
You didn't say that. Who said that? It was a spirit, a ghost. What the heck? Alright, let's head in. There are a couple of things that we have to look at in here. The first one is, this is the stranger's way back to Earth. When you fall through the starry fissure, you're dropped out in the Mexican desert. You learn that from Uru. And so, the only way for him to get to the starry fissure is to link straight into it through Riven. Though there's no reason for us to do that right now, so we can't even touch it. And just some inks and papers and stuff. We have a picture of Catherine and Nisha, but we also have a picture of Catherine and Nisha, the actors. It's pretty funny. That's a special tilde click that unlocks some Easter eggs. There are only a few that I know. We have Cirrus and Akinar, though they definitely do look like the brother, Ren and Rob. You can definitely tell that they're the actors. Taman, thank you for responding so quickly to my request for Nara padlocks. As you know, security in Tamana has become an important issue of late. Perhaps I'm overreacting, as Catherine suggests, but the idea that someone may have been sneaking into my study, reading all of my journals, disturbs me. After what happened to my library on Myst, after my own son Cirrus and Akinar destroyed so many of my books, I've come to realize how delicate the link is to my worlds. I've never been able to repair those burned books, to link to each age and find out if the inhabitants survived. The padlocks won't change that situation, but they should ease my fear of trespassers considerably. Sincerely, Atris. This is still recently after the events of Myst. We're not too far away, so there's still hurt from that. Anyway, these two cloths are the events of the Book of Dunny. So to understand what is happening in these little photos, you can read the book. It's really nice. I've read it myself. This is Atris telling them that they had just broken out. So I will actually explain it. He wrote to an age. Basically, he wrote to an age and created a tribe there with Catherine. This is all after Riven, by the way. Even though it was probably, I'd say, about 2 years' time after Riven, the events of Exile take place. Yeah. So in that 2 year span of time, Atris wrote to a new age, taught the people of this new age the technologies of Dunny, not like his father, as a ruling hand, but kind of an advisor, a scientist, and a teacher. And he linked back to Dunny, into Kavir, and he broke out and into actual Dunny. And then, with the help of them, they set up camp and started reading all sorts of things, trying to organize and find their way throughout. And then, once they found a book, they linked into it and set up camp. And then they found a massive barge of people, Dunny as they were. They all returned back and kept scavenging and looking around in Dunny and in this new world. And so as things went on, the two tribes of kind of Dunny, because they're all kind of distant relatives of Dunny now, because they're all like, ooh. Anyway, so we have Dunny and then like another tribe that they all respect and stuff like that. And so the two tribes merge into one kind of tribe, and they basically form New Dunny. Atris goes through massive trials and tribulations as well with the Dunny into New Ages and stuff, and then they come back out. He realizes the only way to write a New Age, or the best place as a home for Dunny, New Dunny, is to literally create a New Age. And he finds solace in Jananan, which is the main aspect of this game, and he writes Relishan with it.
Well, my friend, I see you found the Relishan book. Catherine tells me you've been here for some time. I'm sorry if I've kept you waiting. But since we'll be gone a few days, I need to secure some of my things. And I also wanted to bring you this. It's a journal I kept while I was writing Relishan. I thought you might find it interesting to read about what I'd hoped to achieve, compared to what the age truly is. Well, just let me get my keys to unlock Relishan, and we'll be off. Oh, and I'm interested in hearing what you've been up to in recent months.
This is Jananan. It's got one of the most beautiful flyovers at the entire game. Though I think my favorite would probably be... it's hard to say. And we're locked out. What wonders of the world. We're locked out. Okay. So, first thing we want to do is we want to head somewhere. Alright. Broken lamppost. Good to note. It's funny because whenever you have subtitles on, you hover over this, it says Whistling Rock. It's kind of funny. It's I don't know, I just find it a little funny because it's like, you don't need to subtitle that, but okay. Okay, can't close the door. I was gonna close the door, but alright. This opens up the gate, allowing us to pass through. And this opens up this gate, allowing us to pass through. Whippy. Alright, we head in. And we see stuff scattered all over the floor. This is the man we saw's lair. Here is his notebook. We'll take that here in a second. But these little contraptions are good to note. So we have 1 doll to 2 at a probably, I'd say, maybe a 2 to 1/3 ratio, possibly 3 to 1/4. I don't know. Then we have his journal. We are not going to read it yet. We will read it here in a second, though. Up here at his work table, we have an electric kinetic generator that shows us these little rocks in this tube float when applied with electricity. And when we switch the cables out, the cables look natural, which is not right. The kinetic generator applies electricity to this plant. I forgot what it's called. It's a Venus flytrap. It's not really a Venus flytrap, it's just a flytrap of some sort. It stimulates it so that it opens its mouth and lets out what's inside. So here we have 1 metal is equivalent to 4 crystal. And over here we have 4 wood is equivalent to 1 crystal. So if a wood is a single unit, then a crystal is 4, which means a metal is 16. Also just some little ink and pens and stuff over here. He knows how to use fire marbles. Also, if I hit tilde, haha, it's Meb. And it's another little Easter egg right there. Okay, and this is an elevator that we are going to take. Up we go.
Atris, is that you? Come to rescue your book so soon? Not yet, old friend. Not yet.
Yep. That's meant to rotate us. It ain't doing nothing. So now we have to figure out why. And there looks to be some kind of mechanism down there. So, let's see. We can activate it while we're not in it. And somehow the door closes on its own. Though it's not unimaginable that Atris has that type of engineering skills to close a door on its own. It would make sense if he really did. Okay. So going down here, we have a couple of things. Now, all four of these we don't understand, but they are all wrong. That's why the thing up there, the elevator, isn't working. And in Savidra's journal is the solutions. So we're going to start reading it. I have done it. I have used his swirling linking book to follow him. I touched my palm to its glowing panel and felt the tingling begin. There was a sudden sickening lurch inside my stomach, then I fell into the page. This has happened before, I know it. It happened the first time I came to this place, when I followed his murdering sons from Narayan. It happened when I used his hidden books, and it happened when I finally opened the machine, right before the fog first ate my mind. The fog didn't find me this time. When I opened my eyes, I was alone in a room. I was standing in the home of my betrayers. I couldn't move. I was afraid. I thought they'd know that I'd come, and I would be waiting for me, just like they had waited inside this very tusk. I was afraid they would tie me up again, that the poison snakes would strike. But the silence was unbroken. The whole house was still, and without really knowing what I did, I started to search. Every room, every floor, every cabinet. I found his journals. Atris's never-ending journals. I found the book that brought me back to this world, the lesson world he calls Jananan. Oh, Tamra, my love, how long have I been trapped here? How much of my life has been eaten by the fog? The face I see in the lagoon isn't one I remember ever wearing. It's so much older, so much more savage, but it is me. It is Savidro, and I remember what they did, how they led my people to death. So the guy we see is Savidro. I have returned several times now to Tamana. I am searching for some sign of his sons. I was certain they would run back to their father, but so much time has passed, so many years in which to forget about my people. Is that what happened, Atris? Safe in your beautiful new home, enjoying life with your dear wife, family? Did you become so busy envisioning new worlds that you forgot the ones you already created? I must be very careful. I must not let them know that I am free. I'll read what journals I can find to figure out where his two sons are hiding, and when I've found the sons again, when I've got the whole family together, I'll bring them down. Atris and his family will suffer, the way I've suffered for years. Circe and Akinar are not in Tamana. Every day I become more and more convinced Atris' sons are not there. What happened, Atris? Did you grow tired of them, the way you tired of Narayan? Did you abandon them, the way you abandoned my people behind your shield? It does not matter. I can still take the revenge against their father. Now that I am no longer stuck on Jananan, I can avenge all the dead in my world. I have already reopened his other books. I have begun making changes in those worlds, using his own lessons against him. There's still much more work to be done, but eventually I will lure him into this tusk. I will find some way to make him follow me here from Tamana. For now, I will concentrate on the Orbiter. It is not a natural part of its world. The material that creates it is like nothing I've seen. It reminds me just a little of the shield, and if it is the same in material, it can't be damaged. Oh, the Orbiters. Oh, that's what it's called. Huh. I didn't know that. But perhaps I can damage the other devices. No, it cannot be true. Surely his journals deceive me. He says he's brought them back. He says he's given his Dunny brethren new life. But how? How can one man have so much power? How can one man's writings reawaken a dead world? I don't know what this means. By all this is sacred, Tamra. What can it mean? It doesn't change a thing. I can still continue as I had planned. I can still seek revenge for my people. I will make my enemies suffer. By the weaving, Tamra, this changes everything. I found a way to reprogram his scanning device. It requires scavenging parts from another mechanism in the tusk, but I think the gears I leave can still be operated by hand. So these are the solutions that we need. So we have levels 1, 2, and 3. So we have low, mid, mid for this. So I accidentally clicked that one when I didn't need to. And we need to station this over. Where is it? Yeah, just push it there. And then the open gap needs to be like that. And then this one should be, yeah, like this. So we have the screw out, screw out, screw in. So screw in. Screw out. Come on. And screw out. Orientation of the actual disc does not matter. But let's read the rest of his journal. It is finished. All is ready for Atrus' arrival. Tonight I will sleep among the ghosts. Then tomorrow I'll link into Tamana. When I link out, I'll be carrying his book. May the spirits of my people serve to guide me in this. Yep, nothing else. So we're actually going to head to the front because this book, as you can see, the increments right here are not entirely correct. They're massive jumps in some places. So we have to find the rest of the book as we travel along. Though here in Janan, there is no pages, so we will not have to worry about finding them here. We'll read Atrus' journal in the end. So obviously it didn't work right then. It didn't need to. It was already turned around. It's somehow smart like that. It somehow knows. Did he build a computer? But it should, yep, turn us. He gone. Also, we can see outside the Janan. I actually want to get rid of the elevator. And the floor comes back in. And then we want to unlock this door. So now we have the ability to come back. The next thing we want to do is we want to hit the next cinematic, which is activated by pressing this button.
My sons, I promise to teach you the secrets of my ages. This world is the first step on your journey. Search the island, and you'll find 3 linking books. Each connects to an age in which you must...
Hello, Atrus. Been a long time. Sorry I'm not there to greet you in person, but I just didn't think it would be wise, considering how long I've been stuck here. Trapped in these lesson ages by 2 very greedy little boys. Your sons, Atrus. Cirrus and Achenar. Of course, they're not so little anymore, not so innocent. I thought a lot about innocence these last few years and what happens when it gets lost. Worried about relation? I have it. Worried about friends, relatives, people you can't get back. I know just how you feel. But if you want to do something about it, you're going to have to open this device. And there's just one problem. I've changed the 3 symbols that do that. So if you want to reclaim relation, you're going to have to take your own class. Find the 3 symbols, Atrus. And don't keep me waiting forever.
Okay, so the next thing is to get to the next age, or to one of the ages, we have to go to each of the tusks. But there's a puzzle guarding each tusk. And then inside, there's another code to unlock the linking book of the tusk. This tusk is specifically designed to have 3 coded pages to unlock this one. So to unlock each of the tusks, we have to use these, or to be able to use any of the linking books inside. So this obviously is an imaging device that allows us, or a telescopic device, I should say, not an imaging device, allows us to zoom in and out on a certain thing. We want to match the symbol of the age with that of the silhouette. And then this little thing right here, these rings and dots right here, need to be recorded. So we have the etchings, and then we have each of the dots placed in the etchings and their levels, which ring they're on. Oh, there's paper here. Circe and Achenar. The walls run red with steam and strangling branches. I see their bloated faces laughing at everything. I remember how they lied. I remember what they did. They brought me here to die. I followed them. The lattice roots were black from too much overgrowth. Puffer spores floated up in the hot stream and burst. No one was there to guide the spores to the branches. No one was waiting to perform the ritual weaves. The fighting had torn my people apart. They didn't care. They didn't care. They wanted Narayan to die. I actually didn't know that page set was there. I think I found it once before, like when I was playing it on my Xbox. But then we got Edanna, which is the bird, and this is voltaic. Let's focus first. Oh, too far. Sometimes this can be a bother. That doesn't need to be pixel perfect. But hey, that's it. And then we have Amateria, which is honestly my favorite age out of any of the games. There we go. Alright, so now, in my opinion, the easiest age, simply because there aren't actually any puzzles. It's mostly traveling and clicking. I mean, there are like a little bit of light puzzles, but they're not that complicated. But the easiest one is Edanna, by far. Then we'll play Voltaic, and then Amateria, being the most complex. But first we have to unlock the tusk. Oh, I didn't need to go down this way. I should have taken the elevator. I'm mad at myself. Alright. But yeah, this is the way to Edanna, because we can't actually get to Edanna unless we do something down here. We can get through it from other directions, but we have to do, like I said, what's down here. So we have a little... Doesn't want to come out. I forgot its name. But now that we have that thing down, it will run across and do that. Now we want to use this flower right here, which actually amplifies sound. And as we saw, it bloats the fruits. For some reason. They have a reaction to sound, which is strange. But now we can get inside the Edanna tusk. I already have a photo of the code. Then we enter here. So the lowest ring, okay, please, is right there. kind of right in the center. The second lowest ring is just off of that. Oh, wait, no, this is voltaic. Alright. The lowest ring is on this cross, or this line. Second lowest is right there. Actually, it's kind of over a little more. The third lowest is in the middle right here, and the fourth lowest is right here. Or the highest, I should say. And that brings down Edanna. Edanna! Also just a really cool way to open up a book. Welcome to Edanna. If you haven't been able to tell, I'm really good at this game. I played it a lot, so this will be a very quick playthrough. Though Myst 4, not so much. So that's going to be fun. But as you can see, this is our exit. This is how we get out. Now, each of the ages does have an escape route, as I call it, but we really want to use the exits. The escape routes are just to let you go to another age if you want to pass on the time and not have to deal with the trying to figure out that age just yet. I think it's mostly used for probably voltaic or materia, because Edanna's pretty easy to understand. But yeah. This bird is very important, by the way, because it is part of the puzzle, the entire age puzzle. So this thing is another one of the travel plants, the elevator plants, but it is dried up. And the reason why is there's no water. And this thing is the reason why. It has sucked up all the water. Or at least captured all the water, I should say. And to de-bloat it, we're going to pop it. And how we do that is with the sun. So now this flower over here has sunlight, and that flower concentrates sunlight to a certain focal point. And this is just the escape. We don't want to take it. We don't need to. But now we have sunlight. And we just killed it. We just killed that plant. And now, the elevator has water. I guess you could call it power, but you don't really need to. Anyway. Now we can take it down to the next level. There are no pages here. Okay, now we can travel down. This is a very important creature. And hopefully it will show why. Yeah, here we go. It is an electric ray, I guess you could say. Yeah, it's not technically an eel, it's more of a ray. But as we travel down this path, there should be... Possibly? No, not this year. Anyway, but now if we press this, it's taking in water from a different source. The exact same source from the ray. Oh, here's the pages. I desecrated the poem he placed in the columns. I could no longer stand to see Narayan's artistry in his worlds. I think I could do something with sap to cover the second one, but I'm not sure what to do about the island. I don't know how to alter the current. Perhaps if I bring in some of the unusual floating stone from Amateria? Something about the molecular composition of the rock in that age causes it to attract and repel other stone quite forcefully. Maybe if I introduce some of it to the soil on the island, it will interfere just enough to damage the last poem. I will have to conduct some experiments. So this is like him trying to figure out how exactly to do so. And there are ratios on how exactly much he needs. And that's that little entry. Now we're here. We go across here. The board! It's in danger! So obviously we need to save the bird. The bird? The bird. Whatever it's called. It's called a bird, right? It's a bird, right? And the next place we want to go is we want to take the swinging vine. Yes, that's what it's called because you can do this. Practically a trapeze. I mean, that's literally what it is. And the next thing we want to do is we want to roll this and lift that. This was something that Akanar set up. Cirrus or Savidro. It was one of those three. Possibly even Atris when he was creating this as a learning age, but I have no idea. Alright, the next thing we want to do is we want to slide down here. And then right back up to the leaf tongue. That's literally what these things are. I think that's what they're called, but I'm not sure. Could be called something else. Alright, and then we pull his trigger. It scares the little guy, but we didn't capture him, and that's on purpose. Then he squeaks that thing. Broken. Oh no, we can't get across to the other side anymore. It doesn't matter. Now we can swing to the other side though. And it doesn't matter that we can't get across to the other side because now we can. But that entire area with the swinging vine is now closed off. We can't get to that area. Alright, let's further travel along. Looks like that plant... Oh, hello. Yeah, this is the same plant that we saw in Savidro's study. It has captured the little birdie. We don't want that. That bird is our way out of here. So let's bring down the ray again. And he gives us a little bit of light on this painting. Cirrus and Aknar, when they came in after Atris, they showed everybody the power of the linking books. Some were happy about it, some were angry, and Savidro was a castaway. He didn't really know what he felt. He felt kind of worried though. So the next thing we want to do is we want to head over here and set something up so that I don't have to come back here later. So we want to show light on this one, I believe. The first flower. And then we want to take this one and orient it there. Which then opens up the tongue. And then we can't orient that one, it's already orientated to where we want it to be. But then there's another flower over there, that's what this one shoots to, that we have to orientate towards that, which then focuses light on something else. It will focus the light on this thing, which will then, now, after I press this, contain the ray. And guess what? The ray is electric. So once I concentrate the light on this, it'll pop, releasing the ray into this. What is this? The roots of that thing. What did we do in Savidro's lair? Well, we brought electric current to the roots of the thing, and it opened. So now we need to pop this. But first, we have to watch something.
What's the matter, Atris? Can't remember how things work? Yet you explained this class so well when we first spoke of it in Orion. I want Cirrus and Achenar to learn everything they can, Savidro. First from Amateria, Edanna, Voltaic, and finally from Narayan. When my boys come to see your people, I want them to see Narayan's traditions at work so they can see how civilization can balance age. Do you know what they did when they finally came to us? You never came back. After class was over, you took your boys away, and you never came back. Cirrus and Achenar did.
They came back with greed in their eyes. Alright, the next set of pages is actually down a separate area. It's down here. Yeah, it's kind of hidden. The book sits on the floor of the tusk, its swirling panel reaching tentacle-like arms out to grab me. I want to close my eyes to shut out these false illusions before they suck me into the fog. I do not want those swirling arms to touch me. Why? Why am I so afraid of this book? I want to remember. I must. I think this man may have come to our village, but he was younger then. Dark-haired, tall, wearing those same strange flowing brown robes. He carried a book in his hands then too, and he's always using it, always writing down notes. His eyes are covered by thick glasses, but his face is warm and friendly. He tells me his name. He says it's Atris. I remember now. His name is Atris. Atris says he's come to our village from a faraway place because he wanted to learn about the tree. He says he'll only stay a while, doesn't want to stop our endless labors. He says he wants to help if we will let him. Oh, Tamra, why did we let him? Keep writing, Savidro. Write everything down. These Atris stayed with us for months. I taught him how to trim the delicate lattice roots, how to splice old and new growths together so the walls of our houses will grow strong. I tell him the traditions of the weave, how by using the spores to support the growing branches we keep the lattice tree alive. He wants to learn everything I know. He wants Narayan to survive. I take him to the rift to where the sea flows through gaps in the world. Steam flows up from the waterfall. The puffer spores are ready to take flight. We stand in the shadows of dusk and watch the spores begin to rise. He says they look like pearls against the sky. Then he points to one of the spores. It's smaller than the rest. It's small enough to fit the niche web woven into the branches that morning. Its skin is milky white, with just the faintest touch of pink. That one, Atris said. That should support your new daughter's room perfectly, I think. I remember I nodded. Then I raised my pipe and played. Atris stood beside me, holding his breath as my song drew the hollow spore in close. As soon as it was near, he threw the net and dragged it in. This is what I remember. This is why I said he could send me his sons. So we're not going to continue down this path until later. There's really nothing down here for us to do. So we're going to head back this way. And we want to go over here. And my dog is barking. And we want to point this thing right there at this thing. We then want to... This thing is already actually pointed towards that. We don't actually need to change its direction. But now we want to go down this way. Back towards the opening. All the way up and around. Too far. And we want to change the direction of this light towards this thing, which will then focus the light on the bubble and pop. we have released the bird. And then we want to put the light back here because we don't need to do anything else with that. We want to take that tongue, leaf, tongue leaf, DL, LT, whatever we want to call it, the thingy all the way back. And this thing is going to continue shocking that plant because it's feeding off of nutrients that comes off of it after shocking it. And it's pretty nasty, but hey. But now we want to head over here and continue down this where we found the page to another swinging vine, which actually, even like the top of this just looks really cool. It looks like something that you'd have in like some kind of urban decor store. I like it a lot. And then over here, there's this, which is just basically once I stand on it, it'll launch me all the way back up there. But we don't want to do that. We're practically done with everything up there, so we want to continue on this way. So we're going to continue on this path to this little light. And we will concentrate the light on the top of the plant's things. See how they're curled down? Once I put the light on them, they will curl up. And we want them all the way up, because those little flowers at the top will then bloom, emitting a strong aroma. Now, as you can see, this plant is already entirely bloomed. And this little thingy is a fungi that releases spores. This is good to know. But before we do anything else over here, I almost forgot, we actually have to close off the light to this bubble. Or this fruit, whatever it's called. Massive flower. I don't know what it's actually called. There's probably a name for it, but I don't know it. But we want to close off its stuff. But even though it's closed, the flies are still there. So they're the second key to opening up this thing. The reason we need to know this is because this is how we get out of here. And you'll see why in a little. These spores are probably hallucinogenic. And they scare off the flies to the other plant, which you can hear opening. And we want to get inside that plant. And the best way to do that is to crawl through this little blue tube, which also has some of its pages. The final painting is almost done. It's been hard to work in the heat, but he must see everything that happened. As he follows the instructions I have left him, he will feel the pain I've suffered. If he doesn't, perhaps both of us will die. Alright. Not much to read, but hey. And now, we get up here. And we saw earlier that the bird fed something to its baby. The exact thing that it fed were these. This is the fruit of this flower. And we want to call that bird. That sound tells it that it's ready. Now these little barbs at the ends are supposed to grow out to other fruit and they'll weigh it down, and sooner or later, once it knows, or like doesn't really knows, but once it's ready, it will do that on its own and call it on its own. And now we are in the nest of the bird. He brought the entire fruit there. Or she brought the entire fruit over, which is kind of incredible, to be honest. Alright, we leave. This is the first encoded page pattern. Thingy? Yeah. This thing is important. It'll come into play at the very end of the game, but it is also the code to open up part of Narayan's cage, which is the thing that we saw in the main tusk of Janana. And now we can go home. Or not really home, but our base of operations, I guess? tusk. And we want to enter in this pattern. Which, it's a very cool way of how it works. That raises it. Nothing else.
Not so easy, is it, Atris? Running like a rat through a maze, looking for some sign that'll help you save your world. Is it over here? Is it over there? Is it someplace I can't find? Cirrus and Achenar didn't care about saving Narayan. All that talk about fixing instabilities, rewriting the age so that we would be free to live our lives, that was just talk to hide the truth of why they had come. But we believed their lies, Atris. So we abandoned our traditions, forgetting that those traditions were keeping Narayan alive. And when the lattice tree started to die, I followed them here to tell them what they had done. And they laughed. They said they would never fix Narayan. They said that they had already taken everything it had worth saving. So, my dear old friend, Atris, I brought you to this place where your education begins. Find the remaining two symbols and then come see what your boys did to Narayan.
Yep. That will end today's episode of Exile. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and to follow on Twitch. Again, I'm going to say this one more time. I do not own any of the rights to this. Those rights are owned by Ubisoft, Cyan, Jackwall, and Presto. Or the music, I should say. I said the rights to this. I mean the music. Because the music is awesome, and it's kind of a big part of the game, so I can't really get rid of it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later. Y'all have a great day. I'm still trying to work out Mechanism with Minecraft on Stoneblock. I'm getting places, but at the same time, it's really annoying. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later. Y'all have a great day. Great night. Great night.